Hi everyone, welcome back to Teensy Vintage. Today we're working in my small art journal and I'm using a page that already has some paint or ink on it. This is leftover from some other project and I was like, you know what, we're gonna just run with this. Pink circles. So first thing I'm gonna do is pull out some ink and I choose yellow. I don't know, I'm feeling yellow and pink and kind of sunset colors today, so that's what we're going to run with. And I'm just going to drop little pieces of, little drops of ink here and there, wet them, and, let them spread around, see what we get. And I'm also like, oh, we should put some orange in here. So first thing we're going to do is dry this ink. It took quite a while and it didn't really dry. So now what I'm doing is just going in with a paper towel and dabbing the excess moisture so that I can go ahead and get going with some of this Dilutions paint in squeezed orange, I believe. Silly me, forgot. You know what? You should probably use a wet brush, Teresa. And it took me a second. So I'm still using a dry brush here, which is putting some very opaque orange on the page, which is fine. But I'm going to add some more water, and here's where I add some water to the brush itself. And now we're going to get some of those nice watercolory kind of effects with the paint. And all I'm doing is filling in anything that's white with orange. So I've got pink, orange, and yellow. Nice warm colors for today. I don't know, I usually do cool colors, and I figured I'd try to do something a little different this time. And I really like how this page turned out. So yeah, making sure that nothing white is left and adding a few little orange, blobs here and there. It's a technical term, blob. All right, so now we're going to dry the paint and make sure that page is nice and dry. It did start to curl from the heat, so we're going to add a clip here to kind of keep the corners down. Got our good old cosmetics wedge, and now we're going to do some stenciling. And we've got our pal Payne's Gray, which I love this color. And I'm just going to start loading up the wedge with some of this acrylic paint. And I've got these little X's on this stencil. I don't remember where I got this stencil. This could be a Temu stencil. Um, anyway, I love it. I don't care where it's from. It is what it is. So I'm going over the X's twice because I want to make sure that I get a full coverage of this particular pattern. I really love these little X's. Could I make my own X's? Of course. But today I wanted to do a kind of a fake 3D effect, which worked on part of the X's and not the other part, and you'll see why in just a minute. I'm also going to use some of that Payne's Gray to go around the edges of the page just to darken them up and make them look sharp. It just delineates this page from all the other ones. This journal is still pretty dang new, so it's got a long way to go before it's filled up. But that's what's exciting about it. It's full of potential. All right, so now we're going to do a little bit more stenciling on top of what we've already stenciled. So now I've pulled out another acrylic paint. This one is Artist Loft, and I want to say it's metallic blue. It's kind of, honestly, I just want to call it like mermaid or something. It's a beautiful turquoisey color. And what I'm trying to do now is find the X's because all these X's are slightly different. I couldn't find them. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to see if I can find the ones on the bottom. And I did. And what I'm doing is I'm slightly moving the stencil over, excuse me, so that it looks like the blue X's are casting a shadow. And it's a great way to get this nice kind of like 3D effect or a depth effect. Anyway, I keep looking for the darn X's, and I think what happened was I turned the stencil earlier and didn't realize it or remember it when I was trying to find this. So anyway, finally I got to the point where I was like, ugh, let's just get some X's on there. So I just picked some, lined it up, and started adding the blue paint. So the top X's are kind of wonky because they don't match, but you know what? Perfection is for, well, somebody else, not me. So, no, they don't look like they're perfect matches. And you know what? It's fine. This is my art journal. If you need perfection in your art journal, you do you, babe. Okay, so now I've got my fun X's down, and I'm going to try and find some kind of focal point. And I thought my Tim Holtz paper dolls were in that binder. They were not. That's die cuts. I couldn't find my binder. I have put it somewhere in this crazy mess that I call a studio. Couldn't find it. So I decided, you know what? I'll look in the place where I know I do have some. I have some of those portrait style um, die cuts from Tim Holtz, and I pulled those out eventually. Where are they? Yeah, I looked at some other pieces and they weren't right. So, yeah, there they are. There's the portraits. I'm going to flip through all of these portraits, see if anybody, catches my eye. If any of these folks will work. Yeah, they're all in black and white, which is great because it's a good contrast, all this crazy color behind them. And I love that. So we find this nice young lady. She's got a big bow in her hair. She's got her nice lacy white dress on, looking very prim and proper. I'm going to go around the edges so they're not white. And yeah, I really like the contrast between her and this wild background. Um, yeah, you guys know that's kind of my style. Putting monochrome on top of Technicolor. But first, I need to add some stamps because the background, while busy, needed more. Um, and so I pulled out this row of numbers stamp. This is from Viva Las Vegas Stamps, which is a great place to get stamps from, by the way. They have all kinds of stuff. The prices are good, and you can get them unmounted, like this one here. It's not on a wood block. So I can use it with my hand or I can use it with the plastic block to stamp exactly where I want. I've also added a little bit of that leftover blue paint to the edges just to kind of tie her in to this page. Just a little bit. Right before I glue her down, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna kind of zhuzh this page a little more. And so we bring out our friend, the white gesso, and we're gonna add a little bit of that, yeah, right there in the middle, just to kind of push some of this wackiness to the background. Just soften it, and it just gives it a nice effect. Yeah, there we go. And now, yes, perfect. Now we're gonna add some glue and put her right there. Beautiful. Oh, I'm loving how this is turning out, y'all. This is great. Okay, so we're going to clean up the mess over there, make sure that our little lady has adhered properly, and she has. And now I'm going to grab a book of sentiment stickers. These are the snarky ones, which every once in a while I'm like, yeah, snark required. And this one's pretty great. It's a good day to leave me alone. We're just gonna put that sentiment right there. And again, excuse me, I'm using some of that blue paint that just a little left to add a little bit of blue to that sentiment and just again tie it in to the page. Add our date. And holy cow, it's been a month, y'all. I'm so sorry. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but here it is. I'm really happy with how this page turned out, and I hope y'all like it too. I will see you all next time.